Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To some and peace out to the rest of you, gentlemen. Okay, so Concrete, Rose, and Sister George had their live stream, the panel. Thinking Men Play Games Too. And it was just I don't know how many hours long the discussion was. And Obsidian was on it, Game Changer was on it, ARC was on it. And I'm going to go back and listen to the beginning parts that I didn't get, the parts to which I slept. But I left a comment before it all got started because I knew I was going to be taking a nap. And in the comment I said, it may still be there, it may not. In the comment I said, I'm about to take a nap, but let me just say this. Thinking men really don't play enough games. You're lucky they're not playing even more. Why did I say that? Well, because thinking men have the most games played on them at their expense. And these thinking men are expected to sit there and just tolerate it. Like, it's okay. Yes, you're being insulted. Yeah, you're being treated like nothing. Yeah, so what? Yeah, okay, fine. We're actually giving all the walls, especially when they're new and young and tight, to the worst dudes that don't think, because we don't like thinking men in reality. And then we come along years later with you and we tell you to take care of us with our big old bellies and our kids from other men. Yes, that's so what? That's what you deserve. That's really what they're saying to you. They're just mad because you might be able to play some of these games with them as well. Really, they're using that as an excuse to still not treat you any differently than how they've been treating you. And what you're saying is, you treat us the same way as you treat these other men, or we're going to bounce and we're going to take our skills to other women and the benefits and the resources to other women. As a matter of fact, if you're not demanding any skills and resources from these men you've been screwing for free, you won't get them from us even if we stay. What you're saying is, and as far as these ladies are concerned, is actually very fair. What I want to tell you thinking men know is this. Number one, don't play the game. Don't get in the game at all. Take your ball and go home, because the game is rigged, and because it's not even a game. It's really a war. It is a rigged game, but that's not all it is. It's an outright reproductive war of deception or of guilt. They're going to screw the men that won't think, have their babies because they see them as genetically superior. And then they're going to come back to you and tell you to raise the babies. Either they'll trick you or they just outright tell you, take us as a package deal. You do not deserve anything better. That's it. Nothing else. They're pretty much telling you will get no better deal. The ones who do the opposite of what we say we like and are the opposite of what we say we like are the ones to whom we're going to give the best deals. We're going to say that we don't like certain things. We're going to find those guys that do exactly what we told you we don't like, and we're going to screw their brains out. And then when we can't ride that carousel anymore because of them babies we got, or because of the fat guts, or both, or because of STIs, then we will come to you. And we will treat you better than we would have treated you before, but we still won't treat you like we treated them. And you're just going to have to accept that because you don't deserve any different. They're going to look you in the face and say this to you with no shame. Like you're just the worst thing to come along. That's who they are. That's who they are. And I'm telling you that because of that, you really, honestly, and truly need to stay away from and avoid them. You really, honestly, and truly need to stop, not even get in that game. Take your skill sets, get some skills that are going to be valuable other places and non-Western nations. And then your chances are going to improve. Ain't no guarantee, but it's a high likelihood that you can find the good. You can find the bad too over there. But you have, at least there's a mixture. In the West, ain't much of a mixture. The good Western women are too rare. And as I've said before, they're not, a lot of them, if they've been hurt, they ain't trying to go back into the game. Or they're still with someone and they ain't been hurt and they ain't hurt nobody. That's what's happening. They're not available. For whatever reason, they're with someone or they don't want to be with anybody. So the good women are not out here with they're not out here enough for you. And so, but let me tell you this, for the guys, ladies, you need to hear this part. For the thinking men that stay in the game, you're lucky they're there at all. Whatever games they're playing against you, they're doing you a favor considering the games you know doggone well you're going to play. And you know that most of you want to play these games because you're not condemning others who do. You won't say anything bad about them. They're playing the games and you're just like, so what? Keep playing. Or you won't say anything. One lady was in there talking about, I wish C Boogie had put Game Changer's face up there. I don't think you understand. C Boogie's done enough damage to Game Changer. The reason C Boogie cams up is because he's hitting the weights and because he was thinking that maybe, enough of y'all will come along and give him enough trim. Obviously, he ain't getting enough trim because he threw Game Changer under the bus to a lady behind his back. Why? He later on came clean with Game Changer. But the point is, why would he sit up and repeat an unsubstantiated charge against Game Changer? Simple. He was trying to impress a chick. He admitted as much. Not that he was trying to impress her, but he admitted he told her. But why would he tell her? Because he was trying to impress her, obviously. Because he wants to sit up here and throw the non-select men under the bus. So it's some high school stuff. Well, this girl over here fine, she got big titties, so I'm going to make fun of this guy over here to make myself seem big in front of her. And it works. But in this case for C Boogie, it didn't seem to work. Obviously, he ain't getting enough trim because he's still throwing these dudes under the bus. So, you're lucky that these guys are in the game at all, really. And they need to be playing more games if they're going to stay in it. Because as I've said, the game itself is not really a romantic game. It's not even a romantic market. It's a damn battlefield. And we men don't understand. Most of you do understand. Because, see, America Jonesy sat up and said, that's her name. She sat up and said something about select men the non-select men, the self-proclaimed lames, are not owed anything. And I said, yeah, well, what they're saying now is that they also don't owe anything. And she proceeded to tell me that's why they're not surrounded by women. See, there you go. They're not owed anything. That means you don't want them. That's what you say to men you don't want. Okay, they're saying they don't owe anything. Well, that's why they're not. So you expect them to sit up here and feel like they owe what they're not owed. They owe, but they're not owed no matter what they do. Are you effing kidding me? That's the idea. That's what's being hinted at here. Gentlemen, you're being insulted. You're being insulted down to your very DNA combination. They're sitting up and saying you're inferior and you should accept that we're going to treat you as inferiors, even though in other cultures, any other culture almost, I mean non-Western, I don't mean non-black cultures. I mean in non-Western cultures, you're not automatically inferior, certainly not down to the DNA. If she don't like you, she ain't got a damn thing to say about another woman that does. And this is where your shots come in when you leave. You can go to the Philippines and find women that don't want nothing to do with black men. They don't hate you, though, and they don't have anything against their friends that do have something to do with black men and might want you. That's the difference. But in the black community, you're a non-select dude for all the wrong reasons. And the select dude is select for all the wrong reasons. And the women that actually don't mind you personally, individually, get shamed by other women. So they still won't give you a shot. So they all get together and agree they're going to keep you over here by yourself. All of them are in agreement about that. They're on code. They're going to keep you by yourself. Unless, of course, they know they're a bad deal. That's why they don't blame a single mother who comes to you and actually still has a baby daddy and baby daddy drama and the gut to match and maybe even some STIs and a bunch of debt. Nothing to offer. They don't blame her they don't shame her when she comes to you because they know she's a bad deal for you and that's what you deserve in their minds. A bad deal. That's contempt. But if she's any kind of good deal for you, even though you're bringing the same things to the table, they look at her like, why would you bring this to him? Nobody else wants to screw him. That's why. You're undervalued. Whatever you do is not enough. And then, of course, you see women from other cultures and it changes. I mean, think about it. These are the same women that are up here talking cash crap about Bronny James, who's 15. They're talking cash crap about this dude. And he's 15. And they'll be the same ones to tell you that you better not say a doggone thing about a girl's preference the same age, even if she had actually talked negative about black men. It's war. So treat it like it. To the men who are going to stay in the game, understand you're going to have to play it nasty. You're not playing it nasty enough because it's war. To the men, to the others, though, I'm going to say this. Really, you shouldn't even be in it. Just take your balls and go home. Let them fight the war against themselves. Leave them out there on the battlefield talking junk and roaring with no opponent out there. Just do that. Because they are not, I repeat, they are not going to play fair, and they're not going to admit that they don't deserve it when you don't play fair. They're not even going to admit that it's a war. It wouldn't tell you that. But that's exactly how they're going to play it. They deceive you, that's the game. You deceive them, why? You no good piece of crap. You need to go to jail for rape. That's the difference. Should have walked away a long time ago. Or play these games more viciously. Gentlemen, I got one word of advice for those of you who choose to stay in it. My advice previously, my first word is just don't stay in it. Take your balls and go home. But if you have to stay in it, my advice is get a vasectomy and don't say nothing. Deceive them. And just let them think that you're a lick. Whether you use protection or not at the time, let them think that you're a lick. Because that's the only way that you're not going to get completely trapped. And even then, keep in mind, the reason I said you really shouldn't stay in it at all is because if they can't trap you with the baby, then they may just go ahead and throw a rape charge at you because, okay, they didn't win anything. They still got to make sure you somehow lose. Because apparently you were just having too many satisfactory encounters in their gash without some kind of stress. And that alone bothers them. Unless, of course, you're just super select. And Alan Roger Curry was not honest about one thing. This stuff works for him, and it would not work for many men. These same things with which he gets away would get other men, even if she knows him. Even if these men were respectful, it would get other men falsely accused. End of story. I'm 5'10". I can't do the same thing to 13 of them without 3 of them coming along with false accusations. Can't do it. I cannot. I can't see 13 of them 13 out of 13 not coming up with some kind of false accusation. Things don't work out, they're going to remember that. And they're going to say nasty things about you behind your back. At the very least, some of them are going to take it as far as he's harassing me, even if you don't even work with her. I told him quit calling. He been saying this nasty stuff so that you get a visit from the cops. That's this, he managed to get away with it. He's also was dealing with a different age group. It's time for them to just go ahead and admit this stuff. They will tolerate this from a few, and from the many they won't. And from the many, they still are looking for you to pay the vagina price. And that's not fair to you. Go ahead and fight this war the best way, which is to not fight it. Get off the battlefield. You think you got your balls on the field to play soccer. No, it's a battlefield. Take them and go home. Get a skill. Get a passport. Increase your chances elsewhere. I hope this has been a benefit. Black heart, black mind, blackout. Assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual thinking power. Just because they don't like it.